Namjoon when gasped as she saw the man in black was taking steps towards her. How did you recognize me? The dimpled smile was flashed as Namjoon took off his mask. Weren't you abroad? A bright smile was curved on Van's lips. Don't tell me you came here straight from the airport. You played well. I know everything, Van. Namjoon playfully raised his eyebrows. Oh, the reunion thing? No. I didn't come here to attend the reunion festival even though I studied here. Van tried to clarify her situation. Wait, if I'm not wrong, you have grown up in Ilsan? Namjoon nodded. And if I'm not wrong, they dropped you here. Now don't make me wait anymore. Tell me the truth. Even though I know the truth, I want to know the truth from you. Van blushed as Namjoon indirectly indicated her to surrender herself in front of him as his wife. With obvious tomato red cheek, she tried to avoid Namjoon. Yeah, I have come here with Professor Taehyung. I'm his assistant for this semester. And Namjoon almost glared her as she tried to avoid. Nothing more than that? Oppa, don't you think we should go to the seminar room? Van cleverly avoided Namjoon. Namjoon agreed and followed her lead to the seminar room. I want to record every single moment. Let's sit in the front row. Namjoon almost dragged her towards the first row, but she knew the first few rows were reserved for the faculty members and the guests. Van had no idea how famous Namjoon was as a businessman, and he was invited to attend the seminar as a guest. Oppa, last row would be the best. Actually, I don't want to sit there. The man with 142 IQ just got the chance he was searching for. Okay, Lady Kim, as you wish. Namjoon followed her lead and led her to choose the seats. What an introvert. Namjoon literally judged Van as she chose the seats of the most corner point. The area was quite dark. Namjoon took the seat. Goyangi, don't blame me if Taehyung notices together. Namjoon chuckled as he guessed they hasn't noticed his presence. Don't worry, Oppa. Since you were sitting next to me, I know nothing bad would happen. Wen assured him. They doesn't know I'm here, but I know he's watching you. He's not wrong. I would do the same if I was him. I mean, he still had some responsibilities towards his assistant. Namjoon winked. Wen chuckled as he guessed Namjoon probably knew about the marriage. They were chattering about casual things when Van felt her phone's vibration in her pocket. She took the device out of her pocket and incoming call from Tae was flashing on her phone screen. Obviously, Namjoon noticed that. You got Kurt's girl. You saved his name like just Kim Taehyung. No heart emoticon, no beer emoticon. And within a blink, the incoming call turned into a missed call. Van could feel cold sweats forming. Oppa, I think I should go. Do you want me to go with you? I guess they can misunderstand you, and I certainly would not want it. Oppa, you are here to attend the seminar, and I promise there would be no misunderstanding between me and Seon Sang-min, so don't worry. Van left from there. Van peeked into the room where they was waiting for her. Her phone was vibrating. Incoming call from Taehyung flashed on the OLED display. Was Namjoon Oppa really telling the truth? Does he not know that his young has come to attend the seminar? One could feel her heart started pounding. May I come in? They looked at her furiously. There is a bin. Throw your phone and come. One wasn't late, but she knew Tae was nervous for the seminar. She didn't want to answer him back or clarify anything that would trigger his anger. She simply switched off the phone and silently stood behind his chair. His eyes were fixed on the computer screen. He didn't utter another single word. The room was filled with intense silence. I should go to change. One managed to say those words to break the silence. When have you missed me when you were with the man? They backhugged her. He was angry seeing her on the corner seat chatting with the black jacketed man, but as soon as she entered into the room, she didn't utter a single word, didn't try to clear things up, didn't go for a serious argument, didn't raise her voice for enjoying another man's company in the name of best friend. This anger gradually turned into sadness. He didn't want to let her go without clarifying the things between themselves. When was quiet, she began to believe Namjoon's word. They actually didn't notice or recognize his hyung. He was completely unaware of the fact that Namjoon gonna attend the seminar and record every single moment for Tae. She didn't want to spoil Namjoon's surprise. Wan gently withdrew herself from Tae's embrace. He's not my friend. He's not even my best friend, but I need his approval to be with you. Wan knew after the seminar everything would be crystal clear to Taehyung. They tried to calm down himself as Wan's words sounded to him like a challenge. He really thought that the person was her crush who wanted to pursue her, but still, he needed to confirm something. Wan was about to go to change into scrubs when they stopped her. Is he your stepbrother? Wan raised her face and looked at Tae. He's not my stepbrother, not my cousin, even not my crush. I know him for a long time and he's just concerned. Wan tried to confuse Taehyung, but her words relieved him from the unknown stress he was feeling for the black-jacketed man. Go, get changed. His tone was quite warm. After a few minutes, Wan got out of the changing room, and the first thing she noticed was nervous Tae. A chuckle escaped from her lips. Can I request something to my nervous husband? I'm not nervous at all. They rolled his eyes. Tell me, what do you want? Will you click some pictures after the seminar? I just thought wearing my present uniform in my school. One felt nostalgic. They nodded. Let's go, we should not be late. On the way to the seminar room. Wow, you know this building was under construction when we were students. One giggled looking at Tae. I'm gonna demonstrate self-exam up in the seminar room. Don't worry, I will just demonstrate, not the actual one. So don't get nervous. They knew he can't afford more delay to inform her. Wan froze at a spot, not because she was shy to let him to demonstrate the self-exam, but as they had asked her about how frequently she took the test. She took the test and felt a swelling. She almost forgot about that. They had no idea about that, so he thought Wan was embarrassed. Look, being a married man, I know I should not be opted to touch any other woman except my wife. And you were my assistant for this semester, so Dr. Kim Tae-young was requested to appear on the stage. Wan knew there was no way to step back. Unconsciously, her palm covered her clothed chest under the full sleeve apron, and Wan followed Tae-young's lead to the stage of the seminar. Tae-young instructed Wan to put on the surgical mask just before entering into the stage. Most of the seats of the audience were occupied by the students, those who were almost unaware of the fact of the topic, but the high school students were like blank page. It was easy to convince them. They sighed before putting on a bright smile. Annyeonghaseyo, I'm Dr. Kim Tae-young, and the lady standing beside me is going to assist me to demonstrate the self-exam. They introduced himself, and when he was just about to start the discussion, he could hear mixed sounds expressing mainly awkwardness. And honestly, he expected that. I know most of the audience doesn't know about this exam, but each year in the United States, about 264,000 cases of cancer are diagnosed. About 42,000 women in the US die each year from this cancer. So, having smaller or bigger doesn't affect the risk of this cancer. So, respected audience, including boys and girls, as long as one have healthy, she is beautiful. The boys who have elder sister, younger sister, mother in their respective home, I guess they would pass this information to the ladies. One could hear a pin drop silence in the seminar room. They started the demonstration. First step of self-exam is visual observation. First, love your body. Love your body structure. Remove all the layers of fabric from your upper body. Stand in front of a mirror. They hold Van's hand and gestured her to keep her arms down by her sides. Look for any changes in shape, swelling, or dimpling in the skin, or changes in. Next, gestured her to raise her arms overhead. Look for the same things in this position. Seeing the younger demonstrating such a sensitive subject with the continuous pin drop silence situation, Namjoon couldn't stop himself from gulping down some fresh water. While they kept demonstrating, the next step is manual inspection in a standing up situation. Need to use the right hand to examine the left one and vice versa. Take the padding section of 3 middle fingers and press. Be gentle at first, then medium, then firm. Try to fill any thick spot or lumps or swelling or any other changes. A circular pattern would be more helpful to hit every spot. They actually used his fingers and touched Van, and he literally glared at her. Van also knew that she was caught but not in the position to utter a single word. He continued, press the tissue under arm. Be sure to check under the and gently to check for any discharge. The next, manual inspection while lying down. Gestured her to lie on the setup. In lying down situation, the tissues tends to spread more. This position is quite good to fill the changes. Lie down and put a pillow under the right shoulder. Place the right arm behind head and use left hand. Apply the 3 middle fingers padding to check same things. Swap the pillow and check the same thing. This was all about the examination procedure. Now the question is, when would one take this examination? Preferably after 3 to 5 days from the date of the monthly cycle starts, as this time the are not as tender or lumpy. Try to follow the routine every month. But still, the answer of when has not been answered properly. I know. They chuckled before continuing. There is no particular time, but I guess while dressing up for the day or undressing at night or while taking shower, lying on the bed at morning or at night time. One actually doesn't need to search for time, I guess. They stopped for a little and continued. I would advise to do the test on a very particular day if one is going through the and a woman with irregular cycles must choose a particular day and check for any sign. Choose a day which is easy to remember and be consistent. One was standing beside Thay as she was told to. He couldn't stop glaring at her and he knew that. So he fixed his eyes on the audience who were trying to learn. He silently sighed in relief as the audience was trying to learn something. They were listening to him spellbound, and suddenly his eyes found the black-jacketed man who had been recording with a small action camera. The man showed a thumbs up and his dimpled smile informed Thay that he was none other than Namjoon. One was with her Namjoon Oppa. They silently sighed in relief. A small chuckle escaped from his curved corner of lips as he thought how he was pranked, though he didn't know she intentionally pranked him or not. And at this position, he didn't want to investigate about that matter as he knew his wife has always been respectful towards all of them. His little kitten was nothing but Namjoon's adorable Goyami. They knew he still had to conclude the whole discussion. My lovely audience, mostly the upcoming generation, you must be thinking if this stupid test can prevent the cancer or not. So, the answer is no. It can't prevent, but it will help you to maintain the health and detect early symptoms of disease. I would be thankful if you incorporate this routine in your lifestyle or encourage the lady beside you. They bow down and tapped on one shoulder to bow down. Respected audience, she is one. Kim one. Mrs. Kim one, my wife. They blushed and announced their relationship. No, he didn't plan to do so, but seeing his dimpled Ilsan Hyung, he wanted to tag her, as he wanted to clarify his Hyung that he won't be feel jealous seeing his wife with him. But it wasn't easy to convince the man with 148 IQ. He knew they was aware of being pranked by him as he had thousands of ways to inform the cute demonstrator that he had specially arranged his schedule to attend this seminar, especially for the younger. Still, he needed to clear everything. He simply took his phone and messaged Taehyung. Indeed, Namjoon knew this phone must be switched off. He decided to surprise the couple. So he went to the room allotted for Dr. Taehyung and waited for them. Fortunately, the 181 centimeter tall man had taken bigger steps, as within 1 minute Namjoon's broad shoulders had to carry his younger brother. Taehyung knew. He guessed actually. Namjoon might be going to surprise them there. He almost jumped on his back knowing his Hyung had the capacity. Hyung, I know one hasn't told you that she is part of the Bangtan group officially. Wanna tease her? They was encouraging Namjoon to prank her. Promise me you won't be jealous. Namjoon wanted to clarify before taking any single step. Yeah, I was jealous cause she had confessed me that there was someone in her life before me and I thought the man in black in the corner seat of the auditorium was Rex. It was so dark and the black overcoat just perfectly camouflaged with the darkness. I know I should stop clarifying myself as I didn't recognize you. Lowering his face, embarrassed Taehyung spoke his heart out. When entered into the room after a few minutes as she was busy with some minor paperwork related to the seminar, Van softly knocked on the door and waited for Tae's permission. Her heart was filled with love seeing the dimpled man tolerating her husband. May I come in, sir? She didn't forget to ask for permission. So, Kang Wan, Dr. Kang Wan, is it that easy to be a part of our Bangtan group? The dimpled man's question forced her to frown, but she tried to look at the floor. Tell me which qualities of yours have given you the designation. I want to answer one in words. Namjoon didn't fail to use his dragon eyes to scare her. I have no answer. I'm just a regular woman. More than that, a regular person. You can find thousands of other people like me. I'm no exception. I guess marrying Dr. Kim was my fate, but I didn't know whether I'm fortunate enough to expose our relationship in public. I don't know whether I have the authority or not. One's voice trembled. Love her the way she has never been loved before. Namjoon tapped on the younger shoulder before leaving the room as he was in a rush. They knew Wan was sensitive, but her confession shocked him as she said she was unsure about the authorization to declare as Mrs. Kim. A good mood can boost up many things. He knew he had to discuss about the thing he felt just a few moments ago, but he remembered. He had promised her something. You promised me that you would show me around. They took the initiative to boost her mood. Come on, he was just teasing you. Wen silently nodded. The fear of being caught, the guilty of not addressing herself as Mrs. Kim, the feeling of being nothing was making her craving for her own bed, the little corner of her own where she would cry her heart out. He gently grabbed her wrist. I want to see the sunset from the rooftop. Am I asking for too much? He wiggled his brows. He was waiting for her answer. He was waiting for one to take the steps first. But on the other side, one wanted to be hugged. She wanted to feel safe. She wanted to be assured, but it was not an appropriate place to be hugged, and that much sense was left in Van. Let's go. Her voice cracked, and she wanted to hide it. Putting on surgical mask, Van and Taehyung stepped into the school building. She wanted to avoid people, to avoid the lift. Let's take the stairs, she suggested, and the husband nodded. They reached at the rooftop just in time. The crimson ombre sky enhanced the beauty of the afternoon. They were alone in the rooftop. Looking at the sky, they initiated to break the silence between them. When? Ne? When replied after a moment. I know I shouldn't invade into your personal life. I mean your past life, but it was the basic duty of your boyfriend. They tried to talk about the lump he felt. My boyfriend? You mean my little heartbreaker? When casually replied. They was a little confused as he felt like he had heard her calling someone very familiar by this particular nickname. He tried to remember. Yeah. But at the same time, he wanted to know what Van was thinking. So, what are you thinking, Van? Van chuckled. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm feeling guilty. Guilty, but why? It was me who didn't recognize Nam Jin Hyun. They knew when gonna face the breakdown very soon. Don't cover it up for me. Please don't, at least this time. Let me wear the crown of toxicity, but believe me, I didn't mean to hurt you. I guessed that you might not have recognized Namjoon Oppa, and he told me he wanted to surprise you. Believe me. I just didn't want to spoil his surprise as he took a long flight just to attend your seminar. One broke down. They took a few steps and gently placed her head on his chest. Grabbing her waist, he pulled her shivering body towards him to radiate his warmth. He was gently kissing her hairs when he remembered, when he used to call Junior as Lil Heartbreaker. She used to sleep with that cutie, even kiss on his lips. They also remembered how Yoongi had strictly prohibited her from dating. He felt being pranked again by the introvert woman who was sobbing in his embrace. He chuckled and tightened his arms around her. It was almost evening. One had stopped crying, but they didn't break the embrace. They were silently looking at the sky, watching the flocks of birds who were probably on their way to their respective nests. Their phone started vibrating. The continuous vibration alert notified that it was an incoming call. He took the phone out of his pocket to check the caller ID. 여보세요. He received the phone call immediately as the call was from the school faculty. The member of the school faculty. Dr. Kim, you are still in the school compound. Your car is in the parking area, so Taehyung apologized. I'm sorry. Actually, I wanted to see the sunset at Daegyo. The member of school faculty. It's okay, doctor. You can enjoy the rooftop view as long as you want. We are residing tonight for some minor electronic repair. Taehyung, are you sure we are not causing you trouble? The member of school faculty. Of course not. Just remember the power connection might be off for some time. If you stuck somewhere, don't forget to dial us back. The call was disconnected, but Van was still in Tae's embrace. She had heard the conversation. Let's go home. It was almost evening. The Daegu city had just started being enlightened by the glorious night light. They was about to step on the staircase when Van stopped him. I'm hungry, let's make it faster. She pressed the button of lift and decided to wait for it to open. They knew it was risky, but a hungry wife is more dangerous. He just followed Van without uttering a single word. Don't look at me. You will not give away a single chance to make fun of me. Entering into the lift, Van quickly fixed her hairs as it became messy from the wind at rooftop. I will not, they smiled. He kept thinking, no. He actually started doubting Van whether she actually was that innocent to understand the husband wife relationship as he felt the med student lives in her own dimension when it's about her personal life. He guessed. For Van, the relation between husband and wife was very similar to a best friend, just with opposite gender. Van pressed the button to the first floor. She felt intense staring at her. What? She asked they with her cracked voice. Nothing, they sighed. I thought you heard my conversation with the faculty member of the school. Yeah, he told you to leave. It's almost dark outside. When casually spoke, and within a second, the lift stopped. The small compartment was filled with darkness. Instinctively, her hands started searching for Te, who cleverly cornered himself to test her. Pen took her phone out and sighed as it was already dead. Te, she slowly called him, but no response. Te, are you okay? Stop scaring me. Stop playing hide and seek with me. Her breath almost got hitched. It's too dark, Te. I will count three. If you don't respond, one, two, three. She felt someone's breathing. Got you. Wrapping her arms around his torso, she tried to make him feel secured. Are you okay? Are you scared? Don't worry, I'm here. She was trying to comforting him when she was at her worst stage, and the electricity connection was been fixed. The small compartment was filled with light. They casually pressed the button without breaking her embrace. She was sweating. Her breathing pattern was not normal. She was still trying to calm herself, but surprisingly, she hadn't stopped patting on Te's shoulder. They placed his warm palm on her fist. I'm okay, stop. He clenched his fist over her. Van held on her toes and carefully placed a few pecks on his neck to comfort him. It was her instinct. She wanted to feel him protected. They playfully raised his lips as he knew she would peck on his lips. And she did the same. But after a few moments, she stopped. As her heart started beating faster, she tried to look at his eyes, but her eyes were fixed on his lips. The feeling was new, euphoric. What? They smiled. More on your lip. It's beautiful. She stammered, a little. She could sense a storm of emotions was forming inside her. They carefully looked at her, her puffy eyes, her red cheeks that were matching its color with her earlobe, her pinkish red lips. Shit, I can't resist myself anymore. He under his breath and started kissing her, and almost collapsed in his embrace. Her fist was loosened. She didn't know in which pattern she needed to move her, but these actions were perfectly filling her inner star. Finally, the door of the lift opened with a sound. They separated them from each other, but Taehyung was not ready to break the embrace. But he had to. One giggled. You're just like Junior. No, I'm not. They was annoyed as she compared him with a toddler. Really? Had he ever you the way I? He couldn't complete his words as he felt a strong pinch on his clothed forearm. I dare you. If you scream, if you utter a single word, I will pinch you harder. Come on, let's go. She literally threatened him with a low stern pause. Honestly, they was enjoying. He was experiencing something he wanted to. He wanted to feel married.